Hello everyone, Touhoua here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make this kind of video, but I thought it could be really interesting and useful for new players who are just starting out their adventure, and who knows, it may even be helpful for some veteran players who are just returning to this game and need a quick refresher. So, without further ado, I will be showing you all some combat tips and tricks. But before we begin, let me show you how to identify a weapon type. So you go into the main menu by pushing the plus button on your controller. Once you're in, scroll through the tabs until you reach the weapons. And when you get there, to the specific tab, look at the bottom right of a weapon, and you should see a weapon symbol. That will represent what type it is. Now let's take a look at these. We have the one-handed swords, which I will now be calling it sword for short. We have the claymores, and the spears. Each has their own playstyles, abilities, attack speeds, and throwing weight. Each type of weapon has any abilities, which I will not be covering in this video because there's a lot, and I just want to show you what each type can do, but maybe I'll cover them in a future video if it's necessary. Also, you may have noticed the boomerang and the magic rod. Well, I won't be talking about the magic rod variations because they practically just enhance the magic stone you fuse it with, and the boomerang combos, just like the weapon type, it is assigned. The only key difference is it can pierce through multiple light tier enemies, then fly right back at you, but if it strikes a heavy tier enemy, then it will bounce off them and you'd have to go pick up your boomerang again. Now that I've cleared that up and told you what the 3 different weapon types are, let me show you what you can do with them. Alright, firstly, the one-handed swords. These are the second lightest weapon of the 3, and the only weapon type that will allow Link to hold his shield on his left hand simultaneously. Sword types have a 4 attack combo that can be executed if you push the attack button 4 times without getting interrupted, and if you successfully land the final hit, it can cause a knockback on lighter tier enemies like bokoblins, Lizalfos, and wizrobes. If you do a jump and push attack, Link will do a slight mid-air jump to slam his sword down, which will deal 2 additional hits if you land it on an enemy. Sometimes that second attack is hard to see because it's just a minor AoE when the sword is slammed into the ground. Another attack you can do is, with the sword unsheathed, you can hold the attack button to do Link's spin attack, or like in older Legend of Zelda games, you can rotate your movement stick in a 360 motion and do a quicker spin attack that way, without having to hold charge at all. But if you do hold a charge, you can see 3 rings indicating a 3rd charge, and if you just held for 2 charges, you can see 2 rings. Doing this attack either way does use up some of your stamina, so just be sure to be mindful about that. Lastly, we have a dash attack. When you're running, you can push attack, Link will slightly slide forward followed by right side slash seen here. And by doing a dash attack is considered as your first hit to a combo, meaning after dash attacking, it will allow you to deal 3 more hits like you would with a normal combo. So yeah, the benefits of this class is allowing for speedy attacks, always being able to block an incoming enemy attack while locking onto them, and parrying any time without having to put your weapon away. Alright, and now let's move on to the claymores. This is the slowest type weapon, but it is one that packs the most punch. Claymores have a 2 attack combo, which has Link swing his sword in a forward motion in front of him twice. The second attack will cause a very strong knockback to all non-boss enemies, but it does not knock back Lynels though. It also has another set of combos that not a lot of people know about, but right after the second swing, if you do a backwards jump and push attack, Link will actually do a quick 3rd strike. The first strike has a slow startup, the second strike is quicker but has a longer animation, and the 3rd strike is very quick. Specifically for this weapon, I didn't showcase this with the sword since it's more beneficial for this weapon because it's a lot slower. I'll show you that you can attack cancel or animation cancel at any time with this weapon. Besides after doing a jump attack or the 3rd strike combo, that's when you actually can't attack cancel. So knowing this, attack cancelling can work with any weapon types. Now that I've told you about that, let me give you some reasons why you want to cancel. And that is so you can run away to safety or take your shield out to block or parry. Some enemies, while cannot be flinched with claymores, they will be able to land their next attack and oh my, you're still stuck in animation. And I think that's a pretty good reason. Okay, next attack that you can do with claymores are charge attacks. With your weapon unsheathed, hold down attack and Link will start swinging his weapon in a circle, draining stamina until you run out or you let go. This attack ends with Link slamming his weapon down onto the ground, causing a decent sized AoE that bounces every enemy in that circle up in the heavens above. You can sometimes follow up with this next move on the list, the jump attack. Link will do a mid-air jump and swing his claymore straight down, causing a giant AoE this time and surrounding him. All enemies around the circle will take damage and bounce if they're a lighter tier enemy, and the next move, like the sword, the dash attack, is very similar. Speed is still the issue, so to counteract that, the first hit of the dash attack can sometimes cause enemies to flinch if you can land it first. Here we are, the final weapon, the spear. These are the lightest of the weapon types. They have quick attacks, and they have the longest range. You can execute a 5 attack combo by pushing one 5 times, and on the last hit, Link will do a stronger stab, pushing lighter tier enemies away, and each stab will cause light enemies to flinch. Now, with the spear unsheathed, you can hold the attack for a charged attack. Like the sword, you can hold it for up to 3 charges, and per charge it deals 5 attacks each, so for a total of 15 attacks if you hold it up for 3 charges. And the cool thing is that you can attack cancel out of any stabs by jumping in any direction. Then, like the claymore, if you do attack cancel by jumping backwards and pushing the attack button, Link will then do a single quick jab that can't be comboed. And since we're on the topic of jumping, the next ability is the jump attack. Link will do a slight mid-air jump and stab his spear into the ground in front of him, causing a minor AoE. It's very small. You might want to be careful as this AoE only hit enemies in the front and in the circle. Yeah, the spear is typically for a single target. And the last ability, as you may already figure out, is the dash attack. Link will slide slightly forward with his spear extended out in a straight stab. The range is great on this dash attack, but the animation is kinda long and cannot be cancelled. Alright, so this is probably by far my favorite weapon to take down Linos, as they're fast, has great range, and the least amount of animation, so it's a great DPS, albeit lower on the DPS numbers. Once this weapon is about to break, it is also a great option to throw at your enemies, and that brings me to the next topic. The throwing weights. Let's see how far each weapon can go. To be fair, I won't include weapons that have the innate ability long throw, which allow weapons to be thrown farther, so these will just be raw weapons for testing. Now, why is it important to know the throwing distance? Well, you lose durability by using it to attack enemies, attacking ore deposits, boxes, pots, etc. When your weapon is about to break, it will notify you with a message on the middle of your screen, and it is a great idea to throw it at your enemy as it deals double the damage of your weapon, which is that number on the bottom right. Now that that's out of the way, let's see how far it can go. Alright, how's about we get away from this chalkboard and go test it out now? I'm going to test it here at the school. Standing here, I'm going to scope to reset Link's reticle. Then I will throw the weapon outwards without touching anything else. Okay, so here are the results. To measure distance, I'm going to chop down some trees and combine them for measurement. It appears a log is about 3 times the height of Link, and the consensus in a lot of different forums of Link's height is about 5 feet and 2 inches in this game. But to make it simpler, I'm going to round it down to just 5 feet or 152 centimeters. And apparently this log is 15 feet high and stands at 457 centimeters tall. So with that in mind, let's measure them. This is just a fun little experiment, and the numbers although may not be factual in any way, but what is that the spear is superior in throwing distance, followed by the one-handed sword, and then the claymore. Where's the book at? Oh, didn't know you guys were still here. Alright, the last thing I want to touch upon is something that even these books will not tell you. This will be a short section, it is unique, and that is the different jump attack variation that is caused by taking out your glider in air. So normally when you do a jump attack with any weapon, you swing your weapon down dealing 2 hits. But when you have your glider out and you push attack with a one-handed sword or spear, this doesn't work for claymores. Your normal jump attack is substituted with Link's down thrust attack from Zelda 2 or Smash, whichever game you've seen that in, and will deal damage to an enemy. Then once your weapon touches the ground, it will cause a massive AoE. Okay everyone, that is all the combat tips I have got for you all today. If any of this helped, if any of this was new, or if I missed anything, let me know in the comments section. This is my first time doing a quick guide, so for real, don't be afraid to be critical, alright? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. There's still a giveaway of 500 subs. And with that, class dismissed.